talk about churches versus temples. Now, this subject often confuses people who are not members of the LDS Church. In fact, a lot of people outside of the LDS Church are confused without even realizing that they're confused about this subject. But basically, the fact is that Mormons construct two main types of buildings. One is a church and one is a temple. Now, regarding temples, there are 140 temples, around that amount in 2012, around the world, and they're used for special worship services and ceremonies, so 140 temples. And members of the LDS Church can only attend the temple if they live certain standards as set by the church, and temples are generally open during the week and on Saturdays, but they're closed on Sundays. And before a temple is dedicated, often the public is allowed inside during an open house to see what the inside of the temple looks like. So if you live near an LDS temple that's in construction, look for those open house opportunities and you'll be able to go inside. The buildings are truly beautiful. These temples are used for ordinances and eternal marriage ceremonies, and once the temple is dedicated, only members of the church who live those standards may go inside. Now, churches, however, are quite different. We have around 20,000 churches in the world where we hold our regular Sunday worship services. And so 20,000 churches compared to 140 temples globally, it's quite a difference there. Anyone actually may attend an LDS church worship service, and anyone may enter an LDS church. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are, what your lifestyle is, anyone may go inside an LDS church. In fact, all of our churches display the words "Visitors Welcome" on the side of the wall just for that reason, to clear up that confusion, because sometimes people think that you can't go in an LDS church if you're not Mormon, when you can. The LDS church services consist of a sacrament meeting hour, which is kind of like Mass, and then a Sunday school hour, and then there's an hour where the women go to Relief Society, the men go to priesthood, the teenagers have their places to go, and the children go to primary. So everybody kind of splits up during that hour. Now, temples, recognizing temples, they're usually larger, they're often white or light in color, and they're beautiful, and they often have a golden figure of the angel Moroni at the top of the spire, and the angel Moroni is a prophet from the Book of Mormon, if you're wondering who that is. Now, churches are usually smaller than temples, and they can be a variety of different colors, and they'll have a steeple of their own, usually attached, sometimes right next to it, but it will not have a golden figure of the angel Moroni. And you'll never see a cross, believe it or not, on an LDS church. So if you think a church might be an LDS church, but it has a cross on it, that's a good sign that it's a different religion, because we don't have crosses on our churches. The best way to recognize an LDS church is to look for that title on the wall that says "The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Visitors Welcome," and that's how you'll know it's an LDS church. In areas around the world where church congregations are really small, and there's not a lot of members in that area, sometimes church services will be held in an alternate location, like in a hotel ballroom or even in someone's home. But if you want to enter a church, simply show up on Sunday and walk inside. Maybe I'll see you there, I don't know.